All right, do it live. Oh, look at the scenery. You get to see the side of the metal building here. Sun's in the eyes. I can't see. I had to turn this way because otherwise I think the glare of the sun would be in the camera. So it's going to be on my face. Maybe I'll get a little vitamin D today. That would be a good thing. It's always good to have a little vitamin D. Makes you feel a lot better. So, let me kick my shoes off. Oh, I'm sorry, my flip-flops off. And we'll see what we got going on here. All right, live. There it is. Turn this down, get the chat up on this device. You don't get not much scenery here. I should turn the picnic table around, but it is what it is. We're gonna do it this way. All right. So yeah, the crypto market right now is pretty interesting to see, pretty fun to watch. Brings back a little bit of that excitement, you know, when we get the big pumps, when, you know, having been through a few of these market cycles, it's fun to watch it pump. And I just wonder, because I'm past that point now, you know, how many people are FOMOing right now. I get some messages, oh man, it looks like DigiByte, we should get some DigiByte. And this is like right at its top, and now it's kind of gone down a little bit, but I'm seeing that with a lot of coins to where they're pumping up. Everything except Litecoin, of course. Litecoin will pump when it is time, and that's why I don't think it's time yet. So it's not moving like it should. And in fact, if you look at the charts, there's a pinch point. This could go a few ways. My thought is that we're not going to see the all-time high before halving. Now that may be a contrary thought about right now, but that's what I think. I don't think we're going to see an all-time high in Bitcoin before the halving, which is around April 20th. I don't know, a little over a month and a half at this point, almost 2 months. I think everybody thinks that it's going to happen now because it's running up so high. However, it'll be interesting to see what happens here at the close. And I'm no chartist, but I just kind of go, well, charts are human emotion. So if you can kind of look at the human emotion and feel the human emotion, then you kind of get a gauge for where the charts are. I know this time's different. We got the ETFs. It's different, but there's still human beings buying these ETFs. And if you bought in when the ETFs rolled out at 40,000, and you're looking at $56,000, $57,000 Bitcoin, you might be saying, hey, this is a fund that's very easy to trade out of. And actually, it's not a fund because it's not a basket. It's just kind of I guess it's an ETP, a product, you know, instead of a fund. What is it, electronically transferred fund product? I'm not sure. But anyway, it makes it easier for Wall Street to get involved. And if they got into it easily, they're very, why wouldn't they get out of it easy? You know, I mean, that's a big gain, man. You put in 40K when this thing opens up and you're at 56, 57K, you know, profits are profits. And I think no matter where they're at, no matter if it's, you know, just because Wall Street's involved, you know, price is always going to go up is the thought. However, you know, hey, people take profits. People want to make money. That's what it's there for. I don't think there are a bunch of true believers in there buying Bitcoin in the ETF. That's just my thought. The true believers already have bought it and they have it in their own custody. They have it in their own wallets. So, you know, here we are at the end of the month. Very possibly, you know, there might be some profit taking. And in fact, I think that's healthy for the overall crypto market, because if we keep going up like this and say we do hit an all-time high before the halving, I think it kind of jacks the cycle up a little bit. It gets ahead of itself, and that would fall right into my thesis that we're not going to $100,000 Bitcoin this year, because it might pump too hard, and then after the halving we might see an event where you know, it ran up so high. I mean, think about it. It goes to 40, and then what if it goes to 65K? I mean, somebody's going to take profits. That's just my thought. I don't know how easy and liquid it is to move these things around on the ETF, the whole Wall Street setup, but I imagine it can't be too difficult. If they got into it, they can get out of it. And what are they going to do with it? They might just put it in cash in the sideline, throw it in some treasuries or something, and just kind of wait for a pullback and then jump back in so they can play that market. You know, it's there to be played, and they're going to play it. It's easier for them to play it now. So this is a cheap cigar. Look at it. Falling apart. It's like chewing tobacco and smoking at the same time. Things just falling apart. But just my thoughts, the direction that it could go. My feeling is, I could be totally wrong, and I'll have egg on my face. It really doesn't matter because I'm not playing that game. But I don't think it's going to go to the all-time high before the halving. I think that we're probably going to see something happen probably in March. Could be kicked off by the end of this week with the whole government shutdown thing. We saw some FUD already coming out in the news cycle. We saw that today the White House says that Bitcoin mining is, takes up too much energy and, got to be green. So that might be the first foray into trying to whack this thing down and scare some people out of it and keep that price suppressed a little bit longer. And that would fall right into the cycles, because I think it does need to correct. I think it does need to reposition itself a little bit before it runs up. We're running up too fast. And I see a lot of people FOMOing, and whenever I see that emotion that people are, oh, this time's different, it's going to keep going up, oh my gosh, I got to get this, I got to get that, and you're buying at the top again, and then it corrects, and it's the same old thing over and over again. So I tend to think that we're going to see something happen. We're going to see the market get whacked down, and it'll be oh my gosh, we would have kept going up if it weren't for fill in the blank, the debt ceiling. It weren't for this happening, that happening. One thing that I didn't see a lot of coverage on was I think it was the Air Force officer, and I don't know if he was an officer, worked in intelligence, the guy that lit himself on fire. That should be pretty big news, but it's not. And, you had somebody, it was pretty awful to watch. I mean, the guy live streamed it, stood out in front of, I think it was the Israeli embassy in DC, and lit himself on fire, man. Poured gas on himself, lit himself on fire in protest of the Palestinian war. That's a pretty big statement. That's a pretty big, I don't know if that's in Cliff's data as far as some sort of marker, but that seems like that's a big thing. That's a horrible thing to watch. I mean, and going through my mind, that guy was willing to give everything up to make a statement because he believes so strongly against it. Man, oh man, that's rough. So I think we may see things like that. May see some trigger moments, some black swans, released at just the right time. March is a dangerous month. You've got the Ides of March. If you look back 4 years ago in March, we had a giant drop in the crypto market in Bitcoin, and everybody was like, oh my gosh, what's happening? That was in the midst of the COVID scare, but hey, insert your scare item at this point. The market's going to do what it's going to do, but that just gives it an excuse or a reason. And I just tend to think that the market's kind of gotten overheated a little bit, and there's a lot of emotion going into it. And every time I see extreme emotion, I think it's going to swing the other way. I have not looked at the fear and greed index. That kind of tells you some things, but just doesn't seem like it's right yet to me. So I would look for a pullback. I would think that probably something's going to happen. We may have the end of the month close on the candle. Bitcoin could get knocked down to maybe 50, 51, under 53,000, somewhere in there. And then March could get a little nasty. But then I think it's up and away after the halving. So that would kind of fit in just about perfectly. After the halving, you'll see that kick off to the bull market and a rise up till the end of the year, into next year possibly. If it's a 4-year cycle, which I tend to think it is, you go to, that can be compressed though. It's not exactly 4 years. That energy could get spread out. But I think you could see a nice run up this year and then into next year, and we'll see what happens. But I don't think that it's ready to go to the moon yet. Let's just put it that way. So I would not get crazy. Don't be FOMOing into this stuff. I don't think it's a good time because everybody's doing it. Anytime everybody's doing it, probably want to go the other way. It's my contrarian mentality. The sheep go one way, go the other way. All right, so those are my thoughts. I just want to hop on here and throw those out there. I think that when you look at Litecoin and everything that it's poised to do, Mimblewimble is going to be coming out on mobile wallets. I expect to see it on a mobile wallet prior to the Litecoin Summit in July. That would definitely fall into where it's out in this long multi-year downtrend against Bitcoin. At some point soon, it's going to make a move. Could be in April, could be in May. I definitely think it's coming. And Litecoin, as you've noticed with the rest of the market, hasn't moved a whole lot. But when it does, it's going to move. That's what it does. It moves really hard, really fast. and I think it's definitely positioned to do that. A lot of technology, the ordinals being built on it. It's proven itself that it can handle the ordinals. The blockchain just keeps on chugging. 13 years, almost 13 years nonstop. I mean, in October, and whatever is getting thrown at it, it just keeps handling it. So when you have privacy on mobile wallets, that's a big deal. That's a game changer, because you see a lot of governments, you see a lot of clampdown right now. Everybody wants to know what you're doing. All the governments want to see everything that you're doing, and to have a privacy option on a blockchain that's been around and is accepted everywhere, has been running everywhere, and is very stable, I think that's going to be a big deal. You'll be able to privatize your coins, send your coins privately on a mobile wallet, as opposed to the core wallet that you have to have on a computer. So things are starting to line up. I mean, it seems like it's all lining up just perfectly for a nice move on Litecoin. And it's not about just price go up, it's about catching up to what its fair value is in the market against Bitcoin. And it has yet to do that. It has not been doing that for a long time. Litecoin is one of those coins that will, it'll shake you out. It'll clean you out. I mean, it will, only the true believers are going to be left, and everybody else, you're going to be chasing it a lot higher. So now's a good time. Litecoin's a very good price, I think. You can put a very minimal amount of energy into it and your dirty fiat vampire casino chips, and get yourself a piece of that pie, one of those great weapons on the economic battlefield that are just lying around. Just go pick it up, you know, for what, under 75 bucks. It's been 70-ish for several months. A lot of opportunity there, and when it goes, it goes. So be prepared. You've been warned. Litecoin, sound money for the digital age. Look out. So those are kind of my thoughts. Check the chat out here and see what anybody else has to say. I see a lot of my friends are in here. Hey, Warrior. At work, good man. Keep making that fiat. Getting out of the system. Gary M's in here. Jason's in here. Paulie P's in here. Put some shoes on, pal, before you stub your toe. Stub my toe on this grass. Probably not a good likelihood. But nope, I gotta have my feet on the ground right now. It's so nice out. In fact, yesterday here in Illinois, in the Peoria area, it hit an all-time high, a record high for February, at all-time high at 77 degrees. The prior high was 74. So it was warm yesterday, and right now it's warm. It's 72 or 3 degrees right now. But we've got some potential severe weather coming. Maybe a possibility for tornadoes. We'll see how warm it gets here. So be prepared for that. Tomorrow the high is only going to be in the 30s. Go from this nice day in the 70s all the way to the 30s, all these mood swings. So look out, crypto's probably going to do the same thing, you know. It's moving up, feeling good, and then all of a sudden you get rug pulled. And my experience is, as much as you think it's not going to happen, it'll probably happen. And that's just kind of how it is. So be prepared for that. Be prepared that it may not go like you think it's going to go, or I should say like the majority thinks. I got this phone out in the sun. It's probably going to melt down and shut down at some point because, you know, black case, black phone in the sun. So I'll make this quick. But those are kind of my thoughts on the market. I don't think we're seeing an all-time high anytime soon, in Bitcoin anyway. I think you'll see it after the halving. And just be prepared to, you know, ride that roller coaster. Because, you know, you're not on the rocket ship yet, I don't think. I think you're still on the roller coaster. All right, I'll check the chat and then I'll probably call it a day, or I should say call it a show. That's one hell of a drop, if a drop. Paulie, I'm not sure what you're saying there. One hell of a drop. Let's see, today, oh, the temperature. Okay, yeah, gotcha. I'm thinking crypto market. Shift back to the temperature. Yeah, it's a big drop. It's crazy, but it's gonna warm up again this weekend. See, feel the breeze coming. All that air coming out of the south. Look out. All right. Unless you got any questions or anything. Win Lambo? Not yet. Probably never for me. Actually, I know it's never for me. It's not the cards for me. I don't want a Lambo. I don't need all that high maintenance. You seen my shoes? I go low maintenance. If I gotta go barefoot, I'll go barefoot. We'll go full Flintstone on that vehicle. Farmers are out in the field trying to get everything ready. They got a little bit of an early start this year, getting the things done. You can hear them in the background possibly. But all right, that's where it is. And I think I'll call it a video. Just wanted to come out here and say a few things, but I would not lose confidence in crypto, even though you'll see a big dump possibly coming. That is what it is. The overall fundamentals are there. It's just a time frame thing now, and have it in your own possession. Don't be putting it in the ETF. That's not a good move, because at some point you're not going to be able to withdraw it. You can probably do it now, but at some point you won't be able to withdraw it, and when the pinch does come, they're going to be locked up. If you don't have it in your possession, you're not getting it back. That's my feel on it. So take that for what it's worth. All right, trust yourselves, trust your gut. If you can exit the vampire casino, find a way to do that. That's the most important thing. We've got a dying monetary system, and we're living through it. And you've got an alternative. You've got alternative assets that will hold your energy much better than the dirty fiat, the vampire casino chips. And so look into those things. Look into silver. I would look into Litecoin. Look into those undervalued things that I think will do very well when people are looking for something that's actually real, that you can use. So those are my thoughts. Hope you have a wonderful day. I do love you all. Thanks for showing up. I appreciate it. And we'll see. Definitely talk to you on Hash It Out on Friday, or on Thursday at 4 p.m. Central Time on Blind Dave's channel, link below. And then again on Friday, happy hour, 4 p.m. Central Time on the lovely Litecoin Lisa's YouTube channel. The link is below. All right, y'all have a wonderful day. And I can't see to shut this off because the sun's so bright. We'll take this off and take a look at it. Oh my goodness, this is terrible. There we go.